A very good Wednesday evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at 6:30. Well, it sure was a warm one across northern Michigan, but now some of us are starting to see some rain. Joe, do you think most of us will have a bit of a damp night tonight?
You know, I'd say half to 2/3 of the area. If you're way south, like Ludington, Big Rapids, probably not. But otherwise, as you make your way north, and we're already seeing that in some spots, rain coming down in the Straits, parts of the UP right now, Maya. Also, we're watching, there's a cluster of storms on the other side of the lake right now, northwest of Green Bay. But there are a couple tornado warnings with those storms. They're still a few hours away from getting here, so the thought is they'll hopefully weaken by the time they do, but we'll look at that, our thoughts on that. A warm night tonight, about as warm as it gets. So hope you have the AC, Maya. And then we're looking at what should be a fairly decent weekend, all that coming up a little later.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Let's start off with our top story tonight. It has taken decades, millions in funding, and a whole lot of heart. The White Pine Trail is fully paved, stretching from Comstock Park, which is just outside of Grand Rapids, all the way to Cadillac. Up North Live's Tony Lundy takes us to today's celebration and looks back at the journey that it took to get here.
After years of planning, fundraising, and construction, the White Pine Trail is officially complete and paved. The ribbon cutting took place behind Morley Stanwood High School, where trail supporters gathered to celebrate the big moment. Afterwards, the celebration continued with a presentation, highlighting those who paved the way for the project.
We're excited about that because now, in addition to all the great features and amenities and all of the 15 communities that claim ownership, which we love, it is now the longest single paved trail in the state of Michigan. And it's the third longest single paved trail in the country.
It started back in 1994 when the Michigan Department of Natural Resources purchased the corridor from MDOT for $850,000. Since then, it's grown thanks to more than $6 million in funding from state, federal, and private donors, advocated by the Friends of the White Pine Trail Group.
And the Friends Group came to us with the idea of having the entirety of all 92 miles of the White Pine Trail paved. And we said, that's a great idea. Take the lead on it. And the Friends Group stepped up to the task, and they have been a great partner with the DNR for over a decade in helping us get this trail paved.
Much of the passion has come from those volunteers who have spent years developing the trail.
It enhances the quality of life for the residents that live near the trail and those that get out there and use it every day. We see the benefits of economic development, community development, mental health, physical health, all of that come together when we build trails such as this one.
And now, with the trail fully paved and ready to ride, it's a win that stretches across 92 miles from one community to the next. From Morley Stanwood High School, Tony Lundy, Up North Live News.
And we have maps and other information on the White Pine Trail over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. Well, if you are living in the northern Michigan area, which I'm assuming most of you are if you're watching this newscast, and you are a big reader, chances are you've already heard of the National Writers Series. But in case you haven't, it's a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to bringing world-renowned authors to the Traverse City area to sit them down and have some pretty meaningful conversations. Well, the next author coming to the Traverse City area is Katie Yee. She'll be taking the stage with National Writers Series this Friday, and Katie is joining us live now here on Unscripted. Hi, Katie. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am so good. So I actually have your book with me right now. It is called Maggie, or A Man and a Woman Walk Into a Bar. And I know you're not supposed to, okay, there we go, twins. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but just by looking at the colors and the font, I am already so intrigued to read this book. So I am judging it by the cover, but tell us a little bit about the book.
Sure. So Maggie, or A Man and a Woman Walk Into a Bar, follows an unnamed narrator who finds out that her husband is having an affair right around the time that she's also diagnosed with breast cancer. And I know that that sounds really bleak, but hopefully in kind of a funny way, where she names the tumor after her husband's lover. She starts talking to it, and it's really about the people and the things and the stories that you reach for when everything else feels really bleak in your own life. You know, for our narrator, it's she becomes really enthralled with the bedtime stories that she's kind of passing down to her children. She's infusing them with Chinese mythology, and she's really leaning on her best friend who comes with her to like every doctor's appointment, and they really get through it together.
So what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, well, breast cancer, unfortunately, is something that runs in my family. So it's something that I had been trying and failing to write about for some time. I was thinking about kind of how hard it is to have a body. I personally am not very good at it, but there's so many experiences in life, especially in a woman's life, that I think force you back into your body. So, obviously having breast cancer, getting screened and tested for that, that's one of those things. Having children, I think, is another thing. It really obviously puts you back into your body. It brings you really into the present tense. Yeah, and I think putting all of those things together was really part of that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe I saw that the book was just released yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So fresh off the press, but I'm sure you've already been getting some feedback?
Yes, I've been extremely, extremely lucky. My team at the publishers is really incredible. I'm with Summit Books, and they've really done a great job getting the word out. So it's made it onto a couple of anticipated summer reading lists, which I'm super grateful for.
And okay, let's talk a little more about the National Writer Series. You will be in Traverse City this week to talk more about your book, and I'm sure more about you. Are you familiar? Do you have ties to the Traverse City area?
I love this question. So I have never been to Traverse City, but I'm super excited to come visit. My boyfriend is from the Midwest. He has family in Michigan. So they've been telling me about Traverse City for a really long time, and they're really excited that I'm finally going to get to come visit.
I think you're going to love it. Hopefully you can spend a little extra time here to really just explore the town, because it's a very unique area for sure. But what do you think your overall message is that you're going to try to relay when you're talking with the audience at the National Writer Series?
I think my greatest hope with this book is that people come away from it and feel like they can have ownership over their own stories. Yeah, and that they can kind of lean on their best friends to get through anything. It's a hopeful note.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to reading it. And again, I think I saw this somewhere, but I hope I'm not wrong. Is this your first book that you've published?
It is, yeah, my debut novel. Feel very lucky.
So I'm sure it's kind of been a crazy couple months, couple years putting together your first novel. How do you feel now? It's a day after it was released. I'm sure there's some relief coming off your chest of just finally getting it out there, but what are the different emotions that you're feeling?
Predominantly I feel incredibly lucky and celebrated. We had a launch yesterday night in Chinatown at the New York Public Library, pretty close to where both of my parents grew up. So that was a really beautiful, full circle moment. My whole family was able to come, and that was really special.
That is so great. Well, again, I keep saying this, but I'm really excited to read your book. I cannot wait. And if any of you folks watching right now, you want to hear more from Katie and more about her book, again, she will be at the National Writers Series on July 25th. That is this Friday, 7 p.m. at the Milliken Auditorium at the Denos Museum Center. And Katie, before we let you go, is there anything else you want to mention about your book or about being here at the National Writers Series coming up?
I wanted to ask you a question, which is, what is the one thing that I should do when I'm in Traverse City?
Oh my gosh, just one thing. Oh boy, that is hard. And you put me on the spot here. Tables have turned. I'm used to asking the questions, not answering them. One thing you need to do
is really a hot spot.
That is a beautiful spot, a little further away, maybe 30 minutes from Traverse City. So if you have time to leave the Traverse City area, Sleeping Bear Dunes is a beautiful place to start. There's hiking, there's the Lake Michigan, there's a scenic drive. So I think if you have time, that's a good answer. Thank you for helping me out with that one. All right, Katie, thanks so much for joining us on Unscripted. We have more information on her upcoming event at the National Writer Series over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. But let's talk a little more about books with our question of the day for all you readers or non-readers out there. How many books do you typically read in a year? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you over to our website where you can vote. And it looks like right now, majority of people are saying about 1 to 15. We have about 100 votes and quite a few comments over on Facebook. And I'm pretty blown away by some of the comments. People are reading a lot of books these days. ways. I am very impressed and inspired. So as always, we will take a look at those results and read some of your comments toward the end of the show. But before we take our first break, we have a really cool story to share with you. A Charlevoix County woman has a piece of history and she's searching for the family it belongs to. So she won 30 film reels from the 1930s and 1940s on eBay, not knowing when she digitized the film, they would show scenes of northern Michigan. Our Ellie Baxter has the incredible story.
I started talking to a friend at work. He was like, oh, I've got something for you. And he ended up giving me this 8mm projector. And I was like, what am I gonna do with this?
Jenny Haltman started by digitizing her family's videotapes. Then a coworker gave her this 8mm projector, leading her to start bidding on nearly 100-year-old film reels.
But what I didn't expect was to find something that was from Traverse City.
And Interlochen and Houghton Lake.
It's a whole treasure of Michigan memories from the 30s and 40s.
Those memories stuck within these Kodak film reels, found at an estate sale in St. Petersburg, Florida.
They probably didn't expect anybody to be able to find a way to digitize them or to see them again.
That's because they're not in the best condition, extremely brittle.
8 to 10 of them that were this crunchy.
Some with vinegar syndrome, a chemical breakdown of the material.
Because otherwise I could just run it and come back in a half an hour and it would be done. But every second of this I have to be there and feed it through.
Jenny starts with a 2 to 10 inch piece of the film, then uses a hair straightener to give it a little flex.
3 seconds.
Producing about 2 to 3 seconds of video at a time.
Probably taking me 5 to 6 hours to be able to do a 30-second bit.
Most of the reels are 5 inches, which amounts to 200 feet of film on each reel.
Got about 30, so you do the math.
6,000 feet total.
It's probably going to take me years.
But it's a labor of love for Jenny.
This one actually says a date, Detroit and Minnesota, 1948 and 49. And like I said, a lot of them I don't know. This one says Jack.
In a process she decided to share with others on social media in an attempt to identify the people smiling back at her.
I think it was within 24 hours. We knew the family, we knew the location, and I was just trying to figure out what town it was from.
Meet the Sawyer family. They lived at 510 6th Street in Traverse City. Jenny and others she's talked to on social media believe Mizelle Sawyer Bell is the girl skating and walking along 6th Street. That's someone's mom.
Probably somebody's great-grandmother.
What started with an eBay gift card ended with a window into the past, not just documenting Mizelle, but capturing a Traverse City as it used to look.
I think it's important just because nobody would have ever seen these if I didn't digitize them. And I find a lot of history, especially, the little history of each individual person is really important. And those people can be remembered now. So piece by piece, we're getting it done.
How incredible is that? Well, Jenny says that she just bought more film reels, actually, of the Sawyer family from the same eBay seller, and those are supposed to show scenes of Mackinac Island. She has tried to find relatives of the Sawyer family to show them these older videos of their mother and grandmother. So if you have any leads on the Sawyer family, or you just want to follow Jenny's journey on digitizing the reels, we will put links to her social media with this story over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. All right, let's take a quick break, but a lot to talk about in weather coming up next with Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Some warmer weather for tonight and a bit of rain for some of us. He'll have all the details for you in just a couple of minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, some of you may be seeing some rain right now. Others maybe temperatures in the upper 80s. A pretty wide variety of weather events happening across northern Michigan. So, Joe, what can we expect for the rest of the evening?
Yeah, you know, we're watching a couple things. First, it's going to be a very warm night tonight, especially for northern Michigan standards. We may stay some spots in the mid-70s all night, and then also we're watching some storms approaching the area tonight as well. It was a warm day, and it was also muggy, especially compared to earlier in the week. These are the current temperatures. I don't know if I'd say it was super hot today, but it was a warm day. We had temperatures in the mid-80s, and we still do. Ludington 86, 85 right now at Frankfort. Big Rapids at 86 as well. Take a look at our wind, and it's right out of the south. Now, that is going to change tomorrow. We have a cold front coming in. The wind will shift late tomorrow out of the northwest, but until that happens, still kind of warm, rather muggy. Meanwhile, all these orange shaded areas are heat advisories for much of Iowa, Illinois, the southern part of Michigan, including the Tri-Cities down toward Detroit, Lansing, heat advisories down that way. And what we're watching tonight is along the edge of this dome of heat, so you can kind of see the arrows there. I say this a lot, but we call it the ring of fire. Right on the edge of this dome of heat is where these thunderstorms thrive, and we do have some tonight. Now, across the eastern UP, we've had mainly, you know what, I'll turn the lightning on here, the lightning tracker right there. There's not a whole lot of lightning with these across the Upper Peninsula, but I'm going to stop the radar right here. Pretty good rain coming down across Sault Ste. Marie, Mackinac City. Heavy rain along US 2. Back here, I'm going to actually take the lightning off again and also remove the radar. And you can see this here is a tornado warning north of Green Bay. So radar indicated tornado. I was just reading their update on that. But these storms are slowly tracking along the edge of that dome of heat toward northern Michigan. So what will happen tonight is we'll keep an eye on these thunderstorms across the lake. They should be, because they'll be arriving here late tonight, weakening somewhat. But I think by the time they get here, and you can see that the Grand Traverse region in particular, we're watching around 10 o'clock tonight, they should be weakening somewhat, but could have some stronger wind potential. So that's the main issue here with these thunderstorms. They will continue to weaken overnight. And then tomorrow, we head into Thursday, and our cold front will stop dropping in. So I do think tomorrow there'll be a few showers and storms. You can see a couple of these here tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And then Friday, dry weather returns. It looks pretty quiet. Here's the official severe weather outlook tonight. And again, it's the UP and Straits, but heads up there, the Traverse City region, as well as these storms come across the lake, you know, about 3 hours time from now. We'll keep an eye on that. I don't think much of a tornado threat here. I think it would be more of a stronger wind risk if we do see that. One more thing. Watch here. This is Thursday afternoon. This is Friday. Yeah, look what dumps in here, some smoke. So we're going to see that returning. Late week, probably deteriorating air quality a little bit. That would be on Friday. There's a look ahead at the weekend and into next week. Hazy, smoky skies on Friday, 80s. A warm weekend coming up, highs in the 80s. Chance south Saturday for a couple showers and storms. And we start the work week on Monday, pretty warm, a few showers and storms as well. But the main thing, Maya, tonight, a warm night, and we're going to keep an eye on those storms as they work across the lake tonight.
Make sure to join us tonight on Up North Live News at 11 for the very latest on those storms. Thank you so much, Joe. Let's take another quick break, but over on the other side of this commercial break, we are going to check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe heading to another Traverse City Pittsburghers game. Stay with us. There seems to be some conflicting trends between the Detroit Tigers and the Traverse City Pittsburghers. They both just can't succeed. One of them has to do good, the other one not so much. If you're a baseball fan, you know which one is doing well and which one is not. Well, the team that is doing well, the Traverse City Pittsburghers, back in action tonight. Sports Director Harrison Beebe joining us from outside Turtle Creek Stadium there in the background. Hey, Harrison.
Yeah, Maya, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I go to opening day every year. We usually catch a playoff game of the Tigers, and maybe I need to be sent down to more Tiger games every year and just, log a lot of hours in the station car. Maybe that would help turn things around.
I mean, that's working for the Pittsburghers, so I think it's worth a shot.
Yes, I'm sure it is all me helping with the Pittsburgh. I'm going to go inside and tell the team that right before they start tonight is, guys, it's a big reason you're winning is because I've been at so many of these games. No, it's pretty cool for them to win 10 straight, College Wooden Bat League, Northwoods League teams will go up and down based on, the guys they have throughout the summer, but they've had a pretty consistent performance. They've had some down parts of the season, but not compared to what the Tigers are going to do right now. And to win 10 in a row in this league is just pretty incredible. And they're in the middle of a huge home stretch, and that's a big reason why, but they've been winning on the road too. So really, the way the roster is built right now, it shows that in this transition to Todd Reed, who's taken over the team as manager for the first time in the 7 years, the team has been around 6 years. He's still leaving a solid imprint on what these guys are doing as far as developing players and to the delight of fans winning ball games.
So they're going for win number 11 in a row tonight. Who is the next victim?
Well, it's Rockford, who got swept in the doubleheader yesterday, and they've got one more against the Rivets. The Rivets offense is kind of like the Tiger offense. They can't seem to amount to much of anything. So that is a very good sign if the Pittsburghers want to win number 11 tonight.
And hopefully that will continue for the Rivets, and hopefully things will change for the Tigers after losing again today to Pittsburgh to get swept by them.
And the good news for the Tigers, they're on their way back home. They'll be starting a 4-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow. And even more good news, you have to wait an extra day. Tarek Skubal will pitch Friday.
All right, Harrison, thank you so much. Hopefully the Tigers just need to be at home to kind of get things back on the right track. He'll have highlights for you of the Pittsburghers game tonight at 11, but we are going to take another quick pause. We will check out the question of the day results and read a few of your comments in just a couple of minutes.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
How many books do you typically read in a year? You can see the results on your screen right now. 33% are saying 1 to 15, 30% are saying 30 or more. And over on Facebook, a lot of readers on Facebook. Belinda says at 112 as of this date. Let's see, Tessa says 110 plus. Jeffrey says 1 a week at least, so let's say about 55. And Cassandra says 136 as of right now. That is amazing. Well, if any folks are looking for your next book, we heard from author Katie Yee, who just released her first book yesterday. She'll be at the Writer's Series in Traverse City on Friday. If you want to check that out, more information over on our website. But we are all out of time here on Unscripted. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight.